But if they turn away, then know that Allah is your protector. What a wonderful protector and what a wonderful helper. Whatever spoils of war you seize, know a fifth of it belongs to Allah and to the Messenger and his relatives, to orphans, the needy and the traveler. That is, if you believe in Allah and in what we reveal to our servant on the day of separation of truth from falsehood, the day the two armies met. Allah has power over all things. Remember when you were grouped on the near side of the valley and Makkans on the far side and the caravan below you. If you had tried to reach a formal agreement to meet there, you would certainly have differed over the time and place. But that occurred so that Allah could accomplish what was preordained, so that whoever perished should do so on the basis of clear proof, and whoever survived should do so on the same basis. Allah is the hearer, the knower. Remember when Allah showed them to you to be small in number as you dozed? If He had shown them to you as large in number, you would have lost heart and quarreled over the matter amongst yourselves. But Allah saved you from disagreements. He knows well people's innermost thoughts. And when you faced each other, He made them appear to be few in your eyes, and He made you seem even fewer in number in their eyes, so that He could accomplish what had been preordained. Eventually all matters return to Allah. Believers, whenever you face an army in battle, stand firm and remember Allah a lot, so you may triumph. Obey Allah and His Messenger. Don't quarrel among yourselves, nor lose heart and become demoralized, but persevere. Allah is with those who persevere. And don't be like those who set out from their homes pompously, showing off to people and stopping people from coming to Allah's way. Allah has complete control of what they do. Remember when Satan made his actions appear attractive to them and said, "No one will be able to defeat you today with me close beside you." However, when the two armies caught sight of each other, Satan turned on his heels, saying, "I have nothing to do with you. I see what you can't see, and I fear Allah. Allah is severe in His punishment." Remember when the hypocrites and those with sickness in their hearts said, "Their religion has deceived these people"? Whoever puts his trust in Allah shall find Allah is Almighty, wise. If you could see, as the disbelievers' souls were taken from them, the angels striking their faces and backs, saying, "Taste the punishment of the blaze. This is in return for what your hands produced." Allah never wrongs His servants. The same happened to Pharaoh's people and those before them. They rejected Allah's signs, so Allah punished them for their sins. Allah is strong, severe in His punishment. That is because Allah does not change a favor that He bestowed on a people until they change what is within themselves, and Allah is hearing, knowing. Similar to Pharaoh's people and those before them, they denied their Lord's signs, so we destroyed them for their sins, and we caused Pharaoh's people to be drowned. They were all wrongdoers. The worst of creatures in the sight of Allah are the deniers. They don't believe. And those you made a treaty with, and each time they broke their treaty, they weren't mindful of Allah. Whenever you come across them in battle, crush them, so that those who come after them may learn a lesson. If you fear treachery from someone, then tackle them in the same way. Allah dislikes traitors. Don't let the disbelievers think they have won. They can't undo Allah's decree. So prepare whatever force you can against them and cavalry to deter Allah's and your enemies and others beside them whom you don't know, but Allah knows them. Whatever you spend in Allah's way will be reimbursed to you, and you will not be deprived. However, if they incline towards peace, you incline towards it, and put your trust in Allah. He is the hearer, the knower. Should they wish to trick you, Messenger, then Allah is sufficient for you. He strengthened you with His support and with the believers. He united their hearts together. Even if you spent all that there is on earth, you couldn't unite their hearts together, but Allah united them. He is Almighty, the Wise. Prophet, Allah is sufficient for you and who follow you into battle from among the believers. Prophet, urge the believers to fight in His way. It may be that your 20 steadfast men can defeat a force of 200, and 100 of you can defeat 1,000 of the disbelievers, because they are people who don't understand. But for now, Allah has lightened your load, knowing that there is some weakness in you. So it may be that 100 steadfast men amongst you can defeat 200, and that 1,000 of you can defeat 2,000 with Allah's approval. and rest assured, Allah is with the steadfast. It is not fitting for a prophet to take captives until he has won on the battlefield. Believers, you want what this world offers, but Allah desires the hereafter for you. Allah is Almighty, wise. Had it not been for a decree issued in advance from Allah, you would have been mightily punished for the action that you took. So eat of your spoils of war what is lawful and healthy, and be ever mindful of Allah. Allah is forgiving, kind. Prophet, tell the captives you are holding, if Allah finds any good in your hearts, He will give you better than what has been taken away from you and will forgive you. Allah is forgiving, kind. If they act treacherously towards you, they have done so previously with Allah, yet He has given you control over them. Allah is the knower, the wise. The first believers who emigrated and struggled with their wealth and lives in Allah's way, and those who offered them refuge and support, they are each other's protectors. Those who believed but didn't emigrate, you are not responsible for them until they emigrate. If they should seek your help on religious grounds, then you must help them except against the people with whom you have a treaty. Allah sees what you do. The disbelievers protect each other. If you don't do likewise, then persecution and much violence will arise in the land. The first believers who emigrated and struggled in Allah's way, and those who offered them refuge and support in Medina, are the true believers. They shall have forgiveness and a generous provision. And those later believers who emigrated and struggled with you in Allah's way, they are one with you. However, blood relationships give them even greater rights over each other in Allah's book. Allah knows everything. Surah at-tawbah, repentance. Allah and His Messenger have cancelled any treaty you made with the idolaters. So, you idolaters have 4 months to travel freely in the land. You cannot escape Allah's grip. Allah will disgrace the disbelievers. An announcement of this will be made by Allah and His Messenger on the day of the great pilgrimage to all the people. Allah and His Messenger are free of any previous obligation towards the idolaters. So, if you idolaters repent, that will be best for you. But if you turn away, then beware you can't escape Allah's grip. Give the disbelievers glad tidings of a painful punishment. But the idolaters who haven't broken their treaty, nor have they supported anyone against you, continue to fulfill your treaty with them for the fixed term. Allah loves the mindful. Believers, when the sacred months are over, fight the idolaters wherever you find them. Lie in ambush for them, arrest and besiege them. However, if they repent, perform the prayer and pay zakat, then let them go. Allah is most forgiving and kind. If an idolater seeks your protection, give him protection. He may hear Allah's word, then take him to his place of safety. This is because they are people who don't know. How could Allah and His Messenger have a treaty with the idolaters, except for those whom you previously made a treaty with at the sacred mosque? So long as they remain true, you must remain true to them. Allah loves the pious. Were they to have the upper hand over you, then they wouldn't show respect for either family relationship or the treaty. They try to please you with their speech, but their hearts reject you, and most of them are criminals. They sell Allah's words for a small price and stop people from His path. Evil is what they do. When it comes to the believers, they show no respect for family relationship or the treaty. They are transgressors. However, if they repent, perform the prayer and pay zakat, they are your brothers in religion. We explain the verses for people who understand. If they break their oaths once they have made a treaty with you and they criticize your religion, then fight the chiefs of the disbelievers. Their oaths mean nothing to them, so this might stop them. Will you not fight those who have broken their oaths and plotted to expel the messenger? They were the ones who started the hostilities in the first place. Are you afraid of them? Allah is far more deserving to be feared if you are true believers. Fight them so that Allah may punish and disgrace them at your hands. Allah wants to soothe the aching breasts of the believers and remove the fury from their hearts. Allah forgives whomever He pleases. Allah is the knower, wise. Or did you think you would be left untested? Allah has not yet marked out those amongst you who are willing to struggle on His path, and those who will keep secrets safe from anyone besides Allah, His Messenger, and the believers. Allah is well aware of what you do. It isn't right for the idolaters to be caretakers of Allah's mosques while they are witnesses of their disbelief. Their deeds are worthless and they will live in the fire forever. The mosques of Allah are looked after by people who believe in Allah and the last day, perform prayer, pay zakat, and fear none but Allah. These are the rightly guided. Do you consider providing water to the pilgrims and the maintenance of the sacred mosque equal to piety of those who believe in Allah and the last day and do jihad in Allah's way? In Allah's sight, the two things are not equal, and Allah does not guide the wrongdoers. Those who believed, migrated and struggled in Allah's way with their wealth and lives have a special place near Allah. These are the real winners. Your Lord gives them glad tidings of kindness, pleasure and gardens in which they will enjoy everlasting delights, living there forever. Surely Allah will give them a mighty reward. Believers, don't take your fathers and brothers as supporters if they prefer disbelief over faith. Anyone who does so is a wrongdoer. Say, if your fathers, children, brothers, spouses, relatives and the wealth you have gathered, the business whose downturn you fear and the houses that delight you, if these things are dearer to you than Allah, His Messenger and struggling in His path, then you should wait until Allah's judgment comes to pass. Allah doesn't guide the disobedient. Allah helped you in many battlefields, including on the day of Hunain when you were proud of your large numbers, but that wasn't any use to you. The earth, for all its vastness, seemed to close in on you, and you turned back and fled. Then Allah sent down His stillness on His Messenger and the believers, and He sent down troops that you couldn't see, and He punished the disbelievers. That was the reward of their disbelief. Afterwards, Allah forgave whom He pleased. Allah is most forgiving and kind. Believers, the idolaters are spiritually unclean, so they should not be allowed to enter the sacred mosque after this year. If you are afraid of poverty, soon Allah will enrich you with His gifts. Allah is the knower, wise. Fight those among the people who were given the book. They don't believe in Allah or the last day. Don't regard unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful, nor do they accept the rule of justice. Fight them until they agree to pay the tax promptly and submit themselves. The Jews said the Uzair was the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah was the son of Allah. These are false claims. They just imitate what the disbelievers said before them. May Allah destroy them. From where did they get these lies? They made lords beside Allah, their rabbis, monks and Messiah, son of Maryam, even though they were commanded to worship only one God, other than whom there is no God. Glory to Him who is far removed from what they associate with Him. They would love to put out Allah's light with the words of their mouths, but Allah rejects the thought that His light should not be perfected, no matter how much the disbelievers hate it. It is He who sent His Messenger with the guidance and true religion in order to make it shine over all other religions, no matter how much the idolaters hate it. Believers, many rabbis and monks consume people's wealth dishonestly and stop people from Allah's way. So those who hoard gold and silver and don't spend in Allah's way, give them glad tidings of a painful punishment on the day when it will be heated up in the fire of hell, and their foreheads, sides and backs will be branded with it. It will be said, "This is what you hoarded, so taste the treasures you hoarded." The number of months recorded in Allah's book since the day He created the heavens and the earth is 12. 4 of them are sacred. This is the established law of nature. So don't be mistaken regarding them. You may fight the idolaters all out just as they fight you all out. And know Allah is with those who are mindful of Him. The postponing of sacred months is an extreme disbelief by which the disbelievers cause others to be misled, making it lawful one year and unlawful the next. They do it to match the number of months that Allah has made sacred. But in doing so, they make permissible what Allah has forbidden. Their foul deeds seem attractive to them, but Allah doesn't guide the disbelievers. Believers, what is the matter with you? When you are told, mobilize yourself in Allah's way, why do you feel weighed down to the ground? Are you happy with this life instead of the hereafter? The pleasures of this life are nothing compared to the hereafter. If you don't mobilize, He will punish you severely and replace you with other people, and you won't harm Him in any way. Allah has power over all things. If you won't help Him, Allah has already helped when the disbelievers expelled him from Makkah. There were two in the cave when he said to his companion, "Do not worry, Allah is with us." So Allah comforted him and helped him with the armies that you didn't see, and he foiled their plan. Allah's plan is supreme. Allah is almighty, wise. Mobilize whether you are lightly or heavily armed, and struggle with your wealth and lives in Allah's way. That's better for you if you knew. Had there been an instant gain and an easy journey, they would have followed you. However, Tabuk was too far away and the journey difficult. They will swear by Allah, if we were capable, we certainly would have come out with you. They have ruined themselves. Allah knows they are liars. Allah pardons you. Why did you allow them to remain behind before it became clear who was telling the truth and you had identified the liars? Those who believe in Allah and the last day won't seek your permission to stay behind so as not to strive with their wealth and lives. Allah knows the righteous people. Only those who don't believe in Allah and the last day will seek your permission to remain behind because their hearts are full of doubts which makes them hesitant. Had they wished to go forth for jihad, they would have prepared properly for it. However, because Allah disliked their going forth, He let them hold back until it was said, "Remain with those who are staying behind." Had they gone out with you, they would have made trouble for you, scurrying among you to wreak havoc, and some would have listened to them. Allah knows well the wrongdoers. They tried to stir up conflict among you in the past and turn everything upside down for you until the truth finally came out, and Allah's decree was made clear, even though they detested being exposed. Some of them say, "Permit me to stay and do not put me to the test." Haven't they already failed the test? Hell will encircle the disbelievers. When times are good for you, they grieve, but when some tragedy strikes you, they say, "We took proper precautions beforehand," and they go away rejoicing. Say, "We are only affected by what Allah decreed for us. He is our protector," and the believers put their trust in Allah. Say, "Are you waiting for anything beside two good things to happen to us?" We're also waiting with you for Allah to inflict on you some punishment, either by Himself or at our hands. So carry on waiting, we'll wait as well. Say, whether you give willingly or unwillingly, your charity will not be accepted, because you are disobedient people. Since they do not believe in Allah and His Messenger, their charity will not be accepted. Furthermore, they come lazily to the prayer and give charity grudgingly. Don't be impressed by their wealth and children. Allah wishes to torment them with these in their worldly life and allow their souls to perish as disbelievers. They swear by Allah, they are with you all the way, but they aren't with you. They are cowardly people. Were they to find a place to flee to, a cave or an opening, they would turn to it as they run away from the truth. Some of them criticize you over the redistribution of charitable donations. If they are given some, they are pleased, but if not, they become angry. They should be content with what Allah and His Messenger gave them and say, "Allah is enough for us, and soon Allah and His Messenger will give us from His bounty." So we place our hopes in Allah. Zakat is for the poor, the needy, its administrators, people whose hearts and minds are to be won, freeing the slaves, helping people in debt, to advance Allah's cause, and for the needy traveler. This is a duty instructed by Allah, and Allah is the knower, wise. Some people insult the Messenger saying, "He is all ears." Say, "He has an ear for what is good for you. He believes in Allah and looks out for the safety of the believers, and He is kind to those who believe." However, those who insult Allah's Messenger will have painful punishment. They swear by Allah to please you, yet it is Allah and His Messenger who they should try to please if they are true believers. Don't they know that anyone who opposes Allah and His Messenger will live in the fire forever? What a terrible disgrace! The hypocrites are afraid that a surah may be revealed about them, informing them and the rest of the Muslims of what is in their hearts. Say, "Keep mocking. Allah will produce what you most fear." If you ask them about some incident, they will say, "We were just discussing and having fun." Say, "Are you mocking Allah, His verses and His Messenger?" Don't make excuses. You have clearly disbelieved after declaring belief. Even if we choose to forgive few of you, we will punish the rest because they are sinners. Hypocrite men and women stand by each other. They enjoin evil and forbid good and are tight-fisted. They ignore Allah, so He will ignore them in the hereafter. The hypocrites are disobedient. Allah has promised the hypocrites, men and women, and the disbelievers the fire of hell to be there forever. That's good enough for them. Allah has cursed them, and they will suffer endless torment. Hypocrites, you are like those before you. but they were more powerful than you and had greater wealth and children. They enjoyed their share of the worldly comforts, so you too enjoy your share just as they did before you, and go on indulging in idle talk just as they did. Their deeds are worthless in this world and the hereafter. They were losers. Haven't stories of previous people come down to them? Like the people of Nuh, Ad, Thamud, of Ibrahim of Madian and the overturned cities? Messengers came with clear signs. Allah wasn't unfair to them, but they wronged themselves. The believers, both men and women, stand by each other. They enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. They perform the prayer, pay zakat, they obey Allah and His Messenger, so Allah will be kind to them. Allah is Almighty, wise. Allah has prepared for the believing men and women gardens under which rivers flow, where they shall live forever, and comfortable homes enclosed by gardens of everlasting bliss. And the divine pleasure is the greatest reward of all, the supreme achievement. Blessed Prophet, struggle against the disbelievers and hypocrites and be strict with them. Hell is their lasting home. What an evil destination. They swear by Allah they didn't say what they're accused of, but they blasphemed and disbelieved after embracing Islam. They worry about what they failed to achieve. They were angry because Allah and His Messenger enriched them with His bounty. It would be better for them if they repented. But if they turn away, Allah will punish them severely in this life and the hereafter, and no one on earth would protect or help them. Some of them vow to Allah, if He gives us of His bounty, we will donate generously and be righteous. However, when He blessed them with His bounty, they became miserly and turned away, unwilling to give. Since they broke their promise to Allah and lied repeatedly, Allah has put hypocrisy in their hearts until the day they meet Him. Aren't they aware Allah knows their secrets and private conversations? Allah is the knower of the unseen. Those who criticize the believers, who make voluntary donations and who have nothing to give but their time and talent, and they poke fun at them, Allah will make a laughingstock of them, and they shall have a painful punishment. Whether you ask for their forgiveness or not, even if you ask 70 times for their forgiveness, Allah will never forgive them, because they rejected Allah and His Messenger, and Allah does not guide the sinners. Those who stayed at home were delighted after Allah's Messenger had left. They hated the thought of struggling with their wealth and lives in Allah's way, saying to others, "Don't march in this heat." Say, "The fire of hell is far hotter," if only they understood. So let them laugh a little. Soon they will cry a lot, a reward for what they did. When Allah brings you back to Medina, a group of them will ask permission to march out with you next time. Say to them, "You will never march out with me, nor will you fight with me against an enemy. You were happy to stay at home the first time, so stay with those who were left behind." Blessed Prophet, never pray for any of their dead or stand by their grave. They disbelieved in Allah and His Messenger and died as sinners. Don't be impressed by their wealth or children. Allah wishes to torment them with these in this world, and their souls will perish while they're still disbelievers. Whenever a surah is revealed saying, "Believe in Allah and strive along with His Messenger," the wealthy among them seek an exemption from you, saying, "Leave us with those who stay behind." They are pleased to stay with those who remain behind, and their hearts have been sealed, so they do not understand. However, the Messenger and believers strive with their wealth and lives. They shall all have the best things, and they're successful. Allah has prepared for them gardens beneath which rivers flow. Here they shall live forever. That is the supreme achievement. Some Bedouins who stayed behind at home came with excuses, sought exemption, and some lied about Allah and His Messenger. The disbelievers shall soon be afflicted by a painful punishment. No blame shall rest on the weak, the sick, and those who lack the financial means, as long as they remain sincere towards Allah and His Messenger. The righteous shouldn't be blamed. Allah is forgiving, caring. Nor does any blame rest on those who came to you expecting to find mounts, and you said, "I can't find a mount for you." So they turned away, their eyes overflowing with tears of grief, since they had no money to equip themselves. Blame is on those who seek an exemption, yet they are wealthy. They are happy to stay with those who remain behind. So Allah has sealed their hearts, they don't know. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings with you all. Thank you for visiting our channel. Please remember us in your du'as. If you enjoyed listening to this translation of the Holy Quran, please consider subscribing and sharing our efforts with everyone and anyone. May Allah accept this effort of ours as sadaqah for us and our loved ones and make it a means of our success in this life and the Akhira. Ameen. Summa Ameen.